Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel, and this is going to be the first video of the year. On today's episode, we are going to be teaching ourselves how to make a 720-degree flare. A 720-degree flare. So right here, I have gone ahead to cut out my flare on a paper pattern. And what I basically did was, I'm going to have two 320-degree flare, two of it, and each I'm going to be folding the fabric into 4. So on the first fabric, my waist is 26. So on the first 26 divided by 8, that is 3.25. So on the first fabric, I'm going to be measuring 3.25, which I have divided I have folded the fabric into 4. So 3.25 on the first one and 3.25 on the second one. So that is what I went ahead to do there. So I just added my ½ inch for stitching. ½ inch for stitching the waist and ½ inch for turning the flare. So that is what I did right there. So this is the first 320-degree flare. So I'm going to use this to cut out the second flare. So right here, I have gone ahead to cut out the second flare. As you can see, I have 320-degree flare in 2 places. That is 720. So I went ahead to cut each of them on just one side. So I'm going to be joining them together at one side, and our zip allowance is going to be at the other side. So while I join them together, it will make them so wavy, and the point at which I have joined them together will be in the front. And once our flare is so wavy, the joining is not going to be visible at all. So this is me trying to see how it's going to look. As you can see, I pinned it down, and I was trying to check how wavy it's going to look like. So that is what I did right there. So I'm going to go ahead to cut out my lining for both. So I'm going to be using the two 320-degree flare to cut out two 320-degree lining. Then I'm going to cut them out as I have done for the main fabric. So I'm cutting them out on both sides. Then I'm going to join them together just as the fabric. But before I go ahead with my joining, I'm going to be making use of my stay. This is a very thick stay. It is called collar stay. So this is the stay I'm going to be making use of because I want my flare to be very stable. I want it to have strong stability. That's what I'm using this type of stay. So I'm going to be cutting out the flare for each on the stay. I'm just going to gum it around it before joining them together. So I'm going to be pressing the stay on the main fabric. The stay is going to be staying on the main fabric so that the stability is going to be strong. I'm making a bustier top. Unfortunately, I lost some of the clips for this video, so the drafting of this bustier won't be included in this video, but I promise I'm going to make another video where we are going to be drafting a bustier pattern together. So that is the front and this is the back of the bustier. So but I'll definitely show how to join them together. So I've gone ahead to infuse it with a stay. As you can see, I have gone ahead to gum a stay to the front of my blouse. So I'm just trying to pin it down here to join them together. I'm going to join the joining at the bustier, then use the lining to turn it over, both for the front piece and the back piece. As we can see here, the upper part of my top is already done. I have gone ahead to stitch them together. So for the flare part, as I said earlier, I have infused the collar stay on the main fabric on both of my 320-degree flare. So I'm going to join them together right now, then go ahead to iron it down again. So I'm going to do this for the main fabric and also do it for the lining. So after that, I'm trying to put the joining I have on my lining and on the fabric together, which is going to serve as my midpoint. So I'm trying to pin it down, then I'm going to pin the lining around the fabric, the main fabric. So that is exactly what I'm doing right there, so that it will make my stitching very, very easy. After I was done pinning them down, so I'm going to be sewing right from the middle, half of an inch, to the right and to the left of the flare, so as to have a very good stitch. After I was done stitching the 1/2 inch down, then I'm trying to cut out the excess so as not to interfere with the lining when I'm turning it over. So I'm cutting out the 1/2 inch excess out of the flare right here. After cutting that, then I'm going to turn it over and top stitch. So for the top stitching, I'm going to top stitch on the lining of the flare. This so as to control my lining to the wrong side of the fabric. It will make the lining show when I'm done with my flare. So the lining is going to stay right at the wrong side of the fabric. So that is the purpose of top stitching on the flare. So I'm going to do this round all over the flare. So after I was done top stitching, I'm trying to turn the flare to the right side. So I'm trying to arrange it and turn it to the right side. So after turning it to the right side, I am going to go ahead to iron it down very well. So this is what we have. You can see how the flare is standing so beautifully. So ironing is like the major part of this project. You have to keep ironing while you sew, iron while you sew, so as to make your flare come out very, very nice. So right now, I'm going to join the upper part of my top to the lining. To join the upper part of the top to the flare, so I'm trying to figure out the midpoint of the top. So for the midpoint of the top, that is where I just notched. I'm going to attach it to the midpoint of my flare. So I like to work with the midpoint of my project because it's before I stitch, it makes my work very, very easier. So from the midpoint, I'm going to sew it to the right, and from the midpoint, I sew it to the left. So it makes your job or your project come out very, very good. So that is what I'm doing right there. So after joining them together, we are going to see what we have. So this is the flare and the upper part of the top after I finished joining them together. As you can see, it came out beautifully. So right here, I tried to quickly cut out a sleeve for my top. So right here, I just use a freehand pattern to just draft out a sleeve for my top. So that's what I did right there. Then I'm going to attach it to the top, and we're going to see the final project very soon. So I'm going to go ahead to also join the sleeve to it. So this is it after I joined the sleeve. This project is so nice. It can be as a top. Your 720-degree flare can be as a top, and it can be as a gown at the base of your gown. Thank you very much for watching to this episode. See you up in my next video. Bye bye.